presents this program in color.
This program was pre-recorded. This is CBS.
Joe Cap to Gene Washington. The Minnesota Vikings used that combination 7 times against the visiting Cleveland Browns, and 3 times the Vikings scored. Cap found Washington on scoring strikes of 16, 10, and 1 yard. In a battle of division-leading clubs, Minnesota was far superior on offense and defense. The Vikings scored on 9 of 10 offensive series and befuddled the Browns on defense. Cleveland's offense, so brilliant in overwhelming Dallas the week before, showed no punch. The Vikings' tough front four pressured Bill Nelson into 3 interceptions. The final was 51-3. Minnesota is 7-1, Cleveland 5-2-1.
That he has to keep learning. It's definitely a time away as far as him becoming a top-notch quarterback, but it certainly was a big move on his part to establish his first best game in the last 4 games.
You're going to continue on with it then throughout the season?
Yes, we think so. As I said, there's still a long way to go, but I think he at least showed, at least flared well enough to continue.
And Sayers had another fine day.
Yes, Gale is running like his old self. He's running with complete abandon, and he just looks tremendous out there.
Now the defense. You awarded 3 game balls to the defense. What was your thought on their performance?
Well, let's say it's been such a long time since we won. And, of course, they just played probably their best game of the year, and they were just outstanding through the entire game, I think, through the first half. The other team was allowed no yardage at all. It was just a exceptional game. They had at least 4 interceptions, turnovers to us. They kept us in good field position. They allowed the offense actually to do the point scoring that they did.
Quickly over to Herman, and a nice catch. Tiptoeing down the sidelines. Joe Morrison, and touchdown. Picked off, intercepted here by Bruce Marr. Giants ball, 1st and 10. Ernie Coy fumbles, picked up here by Jim Shorter. And look at him go. He may make it all the way, but Homer Jones gets him from behind at the... And now it's the Giants' ball. All the room in the world.
After a Cardinal field goal, Joe Kapp threw a 10-yard TD to John Beasley, and a nice catch. St. Louis took the lead when defensive tackle Bob Rowe, number 85, to the top of your screen, comes in and intercepts a Kapp pass. Watch 74, that's Fred Herron, the defensive tackle. Put the rush on, but keep your eye, too, on number 85. There he is, all alone. There's nowhere to go but the end zone. A 26-yard touchdown, and as we said, St. Louis took the lead on this particular play, but not for long, because it was at this point that Kapp came back to take command. First of all, he threw a 7-yard touchdown to John Henderson. And then from the 39, the same combination. Fred Cox then added 2 field goals, and that was that. Johnny Unitas, who showed the way. First of all, a 15-yard score to Willie Richardson. Second cold TD set up at their own 36. It was Unitas to Orr. Watch this move. And another one. And Jimmy turns around going all the way down to the 18-yard line. As we said, that set up the TD. It was Unitas to Mitchell for the TD. The Saints put 6 on the board when Tom Barrington went left, begrudgingly in for the touchdown. It was a 5-yard score, and Tom Matty came right back, scoring from the 3, steps over everybody, and he just barely makes it in. And now the final Baltimore Colt touchdown, befitting the Unitas to Ray Perkins toss.
The winless Chicago Bears got a break at home against Los Angeles when a punt hit Larry Smith of the Rams on the helmet. The ball ended up in the hands of Chicago's Gary Lyle at the 15-yard line. At the 2, Gale Sayers bounced in, and Chicago led 7-0. It was to be the only touchdown of the game. Center Mike Pyle let a pass get away, and Los Angeles recovered at the Chicago 32. And moments later, Bruce Gossett kicked a 23-yarder that put the Bears' lead to 7-3. Later in the second quarter, Gossett booted 2 more 3-pointers, and the Los Angeles Rams squeezed home by 9-7. At Green Bay, Donnie Anderson put the Packers ahead of Atlanta with a 16-yard touchdown in the first quarter. Bart Starr passed to tight end Marv Fleming, who went down to the Atlanta 1. From there, halfback Dave Hampton zipped in 14-0 Green Bay. Atlanta got on the scoreboard in the third quarter when reserve quarterback Bruce Lemmerman climaxed a drive with a sneak. Green Bay continued to move on the Falcons as Starr worked to Fleming for a 3-yard TD. Atlanta tried to rally, but Herb Adderley intercepted a pass and ran 80 yards to pay dirt. It was Adderley's 7th career interception score, breaking his own league record. Green Bay 28, Atlanta 10.
Pass complete to Dick Witcher.
New York quarterback Fran Tarkenton got it going over in Dallas last night. The Cowboys brought him down to the Cotton Bowl turf a total of 10 times for a loss of 70 yards, this time for a safety. The Dallas front four of Larry Cole, Jethro Pugh, Bob Lilly, and George Andrew was too much for the New York offensive line. Surprisingly, the Giants' defensive squad managed to hold the NFL's leading offense within range until the last quarter. Quarterback Craig Morton hit wide receiver Lance Rensel. The 16-yard TD ended the frustration of the Cowboys, who had to settle for 3 earlier field goals. At this point, Dallas led 16-3. Bob Hayes sparked the Cowboys later in the fourth quarter with a return of a kick that put the ball at the New York 28. Fullback Calvin Hill, the NFL's top rusher, crossed up the Giants with his option pass to Bob Hayes from the 40. Tarkenton attempted to bring the Giants back, but to no avail. They never got into Dallas territory, in the second half, that is, and this late aerial was intercepted. The unbeaten Dallas Cowboys started on the wrong foot in Cleveland. Walt Garrison fumbled the opening kickoff, and the Browns recovered at the Dallas 48. It didn't take long for Bill Nelson to put something on the scoreboard. He found Paul Warfield, and the wide receiver did the rest. 7-0 Browns. Craig Bainham fumbled Cleveland's next kickoff, and the Browns recovered at the Cowboys' 12. Three plays later, Nelson spotted Gary Collins over the middle from the 10. The game was 6 minutes old, and Cleveland was ahead 14-0. In the second quarter, Nelson sent Collins long, and Cornell Green was called for interference. The penalty put the ball at the Dallas 1-yard line. Ron Johnson cracked over from the 1, and Cleveland pulled ahead 21-0. Johnson's short TD marked the first score rushing against the Cowboys this season. The Browns provided Nelson excellent protection against one of the toughest front fours in pro football. Nelson connected again with Warfield from the 21, to Collins from the 7, and to Chip Glass. The final was 42-10. Despite the loss, Dallas leads in the NFL's Capital Division, while the Browns lead in the Century Division. They're likely to meet again for the NFL's Eastern Division title.
Into Coffee. And look at Coffee go. And a touchdown again on a second effort. Scott Eaton, touchdown, New York. Himself is Hawkins, who's going for the touchdown.
Bannis, the tight end, goes to the right side. Otis Taylor is also to the right side, and Dawson goes to the air. And Garrett Clark across the 30 and out of bounds at the 3rd down and 2.5 from the 44. And Dawson hits Pitts with a pass and down the sideline. Dawson is blitzed by the outside linebacker, Roy Wynn. 7 out of 35 this year. Stenerud booms it there, and it's good. Kansas City goes out in front, and Stenerud kicking into the wind, gets it up high. It'll be returned by Charlie West, who takes it, fumbles it. Kansas City has it. Wide receivers to the same side. And here's Dawson being belted by Hill at the tackles. Here's the delay to Hayes. Hayes to the 15-yard line. Now they shift out of the eye. Urbanus to the right side. Dawson rolling right, throwing end zone to the 5-yard line. It'll be a first down. Right. Urbanus is on the left side, and here's Garrett slanting in. He ran by Dixon, the extra defensive lineman who was put in there, and went right in from the 5-yard line for the touchdown. Cap fakes it, looks to throw. It's caught by Reed, and it'll be first. Cap gives to Osborne. Osborne picks his way in for a touchdown. Crowd reacts. Here's the end around again to Pitts. Look at the blocking he's got out in front. Or they make that as he tried to get by him. Quick snap and the quick pass to Taylor. He got away from McBee. He's inside the 15. He scores from the 47-yard line. Kosaki missed him. McBee missed him. And a touchdown.
Lift, as I'm sure you can tell from that interception by Houston. They're in that situation again where they have 1st and goal inside the 5. And again, they like to stick it on the ground as much as they can from this position.
Bo Scott is a setback along with Leroy Kelly. It's 1st and goal from the 2. And Scott gets his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. On 1st and goal, Scott went in. So the score amounts to 23-0.
Take a look at it again from ground level from behind Leroy Jordan, number 55. Bo Scott has shown us some strong running this afternoon. Behind the block of Fred Hoagland, number 54. He was hit by Bob Lilly at about the 1, but he still got in.
Rayfield Wright is on the offensive line for Dallas. Morton keeps the football, and he goes on in. And it looked like a busted play.
I'm sure it was. He slipped as he started away from the center. He's going to give the ball to Calvin Hill on a sweep to the left. But he realized at the last minute that Hill would be past where he could make an exchange with him, so he took it and scored anyway. Watch him slip as he turns around. And he realized, I think, that he couldn't get the ball to Hill, so he just tucked it away.
Well, that was the first Dallas score of the day, making
his block and goes across the field, and that time he wasn't as open as he was on the play before. But still, Cleveland got 1st down yardage. Morin has caught 4 passes for 54 yards. Warfield's caught 6 for 72.
42 seconds left in this quarter. A 1st down play, the delay to Kelly. Kelly inside the 30, needs a block by Collins. Gets inside the 15, inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Cleveland from the 3-yard line. Leroy Kelly finally stopped by Jordan and Otto Brown. A 39-yard dash.
It's a draw play to Kelly. A little bit of a delay as Nelson was anticipating a strong pass rush from Dallas. And the rest of it is just run as only he can run. That's Collins down with the block on Cornell Green. Green rolled out but couldn't quite get to him.
And Collins did a good job on a big defensive back, Cornell Green. Allowed the play to go to the 3-yard. Cleveland leading 24-7. Bo Scott and Leroy Kelly. Kelly this time, and he's got the touchdown. Leroy Kelly is in. making the score now 30-7 in favor of Cleveland. Kelly from 1 yard away. Bourne has a touchdown, and Scott has 2. Morton scored for Dallas.
During the course of the regular season,
In favor of the Browns, Renzel goes to the left, and that's one of the big stories of this game. Morton has been unable to get the ball to him. Hayes is on the right side. This is a 4th down play. In the corner, and it is intercepted by Sumner, and he is going to go all the way. The rookie cornerback with an 89-yard interception for a touchdown to make it 37-7. Walt Sumner, who was supposed to be worked on by the Cowboys, does some work of his own.
and here it comes again. You'll see him cut just in front of the intended receiver, who I believe is Calvin Hill, out in the left flat. Now it's Garrison. But Sumner, involved in short zone coverage, cut just in front of him and set sail. That's Tony Liscio chasing, the left tackle, 72, but he's got no chance.
37-7 now in favor of Cleveland with 9:33 remaining in the game. An interception and the touchdown run covered 89 yards. Sumner had run one back for a touchdown during the regular season. Rome holding. Cockcroft kicking. 38-7 in favor of Cleveland. And back with the Browns kickoff in just a moment.